I've got to be totally honest, I haven't read a whole lot of Flash, but of what the Flash I have read, I know I do prefer Wally. Now, the Flash I've read, he didn't have the hair cut out like this, he was wearing like the traditional suit, but you know what? I like him enough that I'll let those just locks just flow in the wind. I bet it feels pretty nice. Wait, why doesn't that just shear off his hair? My God. What have I stumbled upon? They should all be bald. I mean, if they got their hair flowing like that, I mean, how does that survive those top speeds? But, I will say that I bought this mostly for the cover. I mean, they're doing this event called Flash War. I'm probably going to read all those issues unless they get really, like, hokey or whatever. But we all know it's sort of fake news, like, one's not gonna die. It's just, it's like clickbait, essentially, but it might be a little bit of fun. But, I will say, I did catch up on Flash on Netflix a couple months ago, and Season 3 just has totally put me off reading any Flash whatsoever. Oh, God. And then I found out Iris is now a speedster. At this point, I'm afraid I'm gonna become a speedster if I watch Season 4. It's just like, I don't need those hassles in my life. Or maybe I do. I don't know. It just, oh my God. Is the dad also going to be a speedster? What the fuck? Okay, so let's just get into this. So, we see that Barry and Wally, they're having a little bit of an argument. Barry is telling him, oh, I don't know if I said that, but Barry also seems just like a goody two-shoes to me. I feel like Wally will get his hands dirty. You don't know what can happen after everything Eobard took from me, my mother. So we get the vibe that Wally wants to go back in time and alter events to save somebody. And he can't believe that Barry isn't agreeing with him on this because he needs to save him. But if you don't run with me now, I will make sure you never run again. See, Wally's not afraid to paralyze a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I like that in a hero. Also, I'm into this art. I mean, all these sketchy lines that are like planes of their faces, I'm into it. So we start off on this scene. It cuts to 47 minutes and 18 seconds earlier when we see Aunt Iris. She's fixing up a motorcycle and there's a radio playing and it's talking about a tidal wave caused by an earthquake somewhere, some Asian sounding country that I'm not even sure is actually real, and Wallace is there, and Barry and Wally both they handled the tidal wave, you know what I'm saying. They got it done, but, you know, Wallace wants to know if he needs to go there, and she says, when she first met Barry, she checked around on him, she asked around him, and everybody said Barry Allen is the nicest guy, but there was always that but. Wally's the same. They both have a bad habit of sweeping tension under the rug in the name of politeness. That totally contradicts to the Wally story I read. I can't remember what it was. It's probably on my Goodreads, but I can't be fucked. It must come with the Speed Force. I know they didn't get it from me, and apparently they had a major situation go down with Grodd in the previous issues, but, you know. And then Iris says this, which I really like. Not every fight is over when you beat the bad guy, Wallace. Yeah, Wally. If you beat him so bad, then you have to pay his medical bills, and you got court dates and all sorts of other things. It's awful. And we learned that this Iris is an actual journalist because Wallace asks, I want to call him Wally so bad. But if I do that, I'm going to have to call him Black Wally, and it just doesn't sound right. He asked her where she learned to fix up motorcycles. She said, reporting on the Summer of Bedlam in Markovia, it was the only way to travel safely from village to village. So this Iris is a stark contrast to the Iris on the TV show, who, I don't know how she has a job, frankly. And then both of the guys arrive. They have a little bit of an argument. Wally says, you know, you always take the scenic route, Barry. I'm just trying to get shit done. He takes the fastest route. And then we learn, and he says, I didn't know it was a race. Dude, when you're a Flash, everything is a race. You're racing humanity at all times. And we learn that, have I been saying a lot? I feel like I have. I'm sorry. But we learn that Wally has had some sort of issue where his memories aren't there. So not really full-blown amnesia, but something. And he has these, see, that wasn't so that's totally fine that I did that. He's having these flashes, he's having these visions that are apparently super painful, but Wally's a real man. In the story I read, he was a mechanic, so he's a real man. You know what I'm saying? And the visions are painful, but he's willing to deal with them if it means getting his memory back. And of course that triggers a vision right there, and that just looks very cool visually. And it's like, oh, you're no Barry Allen. It's like, yeah, I'm Wally West. I'm superior to Barry. Hell yeah. And he sees the Justice League with a little Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, which is always welcome. It's always nice to see. And of course, Barry wants to take him to Star Labs because that's Barry's solution to every goddamn thing, even in the TV show. I feel like I'm ragging on the TV show, but I feel like that's deserved because season 3, what the hell? Jesus. So he says something is coming, and we see someone's calling Iris's name, and of course we get the 25th Century Reverse Flash Task Force. Yeah, that's a mouthload. AKA the Renegades. And let's see who's in this lineup. Okay, we have Commander Cold, which I've heard about, but so is this a new guy? It's not Leonard Snart. If you know, go ahead and tell me. Golden Guardian, which I thought was Snart's sister with the gold gun, but it is definitely not. Weather Warlock, yeah, you're real great. Mirror Monarch the second. No, wait, this is Heatstroke. I always do that. I want to call him Mirror Monarch because he looks very regal. This is Heatstroke. This is Mirror Monarch, who doesn't look as regal to me as Heatstroke. And it appears Iris is under arrest for murder of Eobard Thawne, which, I gotta tell you, that's surprising. Out of that cast of characters, I wouldn't have guessed that she was the one who did the murder. So, Barry, of course, he wants to talk it out. Jesus. These are the Renegades, and I would just like to say, I don't see Jay-Z or Eminem in this cast of Renegades. Do I have any hip-hop fans? Come on! It's a dope track. It's more of an Eminem track than a Jay-Z track, but it's technically a Jay-Z song and a Jay-Z album. So, he's like, oh, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding. Oh my god. See, I'm making fun of him, but this is how I would be in real life. I'd be like, let's talk it out. Let's see what the issue is. But no. And Barry's, or Wally says, you heard the man, Barry. He knows this, so that immediately triggers him to put on and while everyone's following Wally's lead, he's a natural born leader. And Iris, I feel like you got too many sweatbands on, girl. Okay? And apparently, I mean, the Renegades isn't exactly a comforting name, but apparently they have tussled before they've run into these people. And then just look at this. Just look at that Barry with his hands, with his palms up like a little bitch. Maybe we need to hear him out. I don't think so. You're literally 3 fast guys and just 5 of these, like, this B team. I mean, I'm glad it's not the Justice League, but come on, man. I'm sure we can talk and then... Okay, yeah, I'll show this. No, Wally springs into action. He just grabs Iris and he gets the fuck out of there. Also, Iris, I hate Converse. I hate them. I just would like to point that out to everybody. And Barry is so surprised he gets anime eyes a little bit. And the Renegade's sort of threatening, I hope a legendary hero such as yourself, Flash, won't get in the way of justice. Like, oh, like 2 hits to the chest. You're calling me a legendary hero? And you're telling me I won't get in the way of justice? It's like, oh my god. But I feel like he does go for it because it's family. And that's another thing I'm not super into about The Flash. It's like a fucking Fast and Furious movie. We're family. I was like, oh, it's sickening. It's disgusting to me. And so, Wallace says, so reverse rogues, do you have a reverse for everyone? Is there a reverse Kid Flash? Not now, Kid Flash. Yeah, the mythology is crazy. I mean, in the Flash universe, I'm just gonna assume there's a reverse everything, and then there's a yellow everything, and then there's like reverse yellow on another universe. It just keeps going, it keeps stacking, and I mean, whoever came up with that, good on you, because you'll never run out of possibilities of villains. And then eventually, Wally stops, and Iris just gives him the business, and she says, what does she say? We never run from a fight, which is, oh, that hokey, it's so damn corny. Eventually the Guardians catch up on him. We find out, or the Renegades, and we find out that Golden Guardian is not the lady with the gold gun, which, I mean, if you have that, why even be a villain? You can make gold everything and just be rich. Why would you? I mean, it'd probably get fucking boring, but wow, financial stability? How boring could that be? So she starts spitting the Yellow Lantern creed, and that just came out of nowhere for me. And let me ask you something. Okay, so we know Golden Guardian is a Yellow Lantern. I ask you, what are shit, I ruined it. What are Flash's most afraid of? Now I'm going to give you like a second to come up with your answer, and then I'm going to spit a couple of mine, alright? You got yours? Alright, here's where I'm going. Turtles, snails, slugs, pavement that has cracks in it. What? Well, come on, you know they fear that shit, but no, of course it's all yellow flashes, and this is, oh, I mean, I'm not super thrilled with how she's drawn, but just the idea of this is like, wow. And also, kudos to her for having her ring charged at all times, because it's about to get fucking wild. Just, oh, that's so sick. And it just catches Barry by surprise. I mean, oh man, she spent the whole afternoon fixing up that bike. And you think it's only a couple of these. That's when you're wrong. And apparently this is Wallace's first run-in with this, so he's a little taken aback. And and Barry tells him, you know, they're constructs created from our fears to throw us off our game. Don't let them throw them off our game. You know what? Your game's about to get fucking thrown. Why? Look at this. Look at how many of these men, I mean, her ring is going to be fully depleted when we get done with this. And then I also would like to point, I think my favorite thing about this whole thing is this cat. Just look at this cat. This cat is just like, you know, this cat was like licking its leg and then just looked outside and it's like, oh, that's going to bring property values down probably. Because I feel like cats worry about the value of real estate. So, of course, during this, Barry and Wally are just arguing because they're family. That's my Vin Diesel impression. And so, it finally ends up, Barry says he wants him to learn from his mistakes, which I get that, but Wally's also a hothead. That's his appeal. I don't want Wally learning. There's some adults out there that when they reach a certain point, they're done learning, and I want that for Wally. That probably makes me a bad person. But whatever. So I can be like you, so you can be better than me, and I feel like that face is a little strong. That face is a bit strong of how that is doing. Also, I just like to point out these upward palm strikes. I'm seeing them in DC Comics. I mean, just like, this is incredible. And there's no credits page, so it's one of these people. One of these people drew all of these. This is just fantastic. And so you can be better than me, and Wally spits out, what if I already am? Fucking sick answer, Wally. And then eventually, okay, yeah, so Iris comes out of nowhere. Oh, I guess that wasn't her bike that got fucked up. Thank God they spent the afternoon having a nice chat, listening to the radio, fixing up this dirt bike. Also, what? She had this dirt bike shipped from some random Asian country? The shipping costs alone, Iris. That was a bad financial decision. So she just runs over Commander Cold. No one takes aim at my family. One day we'll see you again, Paul Walker. Rip Paul Walker. He was the greatest actor of all time. To somebody. So, of course, Wally starts having one of those super painful visions, because this is just the most inopportune time for that to happen. And damn it, Wally, how dare your head... I mean, he probably got knocked a couple times in this, so you can't really be upset at him. I mean, his noodle's all messed up. And you get yellow flash projections pounded on it, you're gonna have painful visions. I don't know if what I just said at all made any sense. But then Commander Cold, he realizes, he tells the Renegades to stand down because he's having temporal seizures. And they can help him. And then they explain, yeah, we can help him. So then that prompts Iris to agree to go to the temporal courts because they'll help Wally. And they're like, yeah, because we weren't going to leave without you, you dumb bitch. And then if that also makes Barry say, well, I'm not going to let you basically go alone because Wally's on the bench right now. And then Wallace also agrees, which I'm surprised they let him come because he is a kid. And they do transport to the temporal courts. It's all like this, very cool looking, but there's no Wally. Where is he? I mean, he's the reason why everybody sort of agreed to come. I mean, yeah, but can I just say it would have been terrible if the whole Flash War thing was just them moving Iris from place to place. And apparently there was a corrupted file within my time portal. It targeted Wally West's Speed Force signature. Yeah. Okay, so we see where Wally went. And he went into his real life. What? This is everything that was taken from you. Everyone you knew, everyone you loved, forgotten but not lost. Who? Okay, Wally, he's not particularly that bright. And Barry did nothing to help you find him. Okay, so now we see where this Flash War is going. They're all trapped in the Speed Force just like you were, Wally. You can still be the hero they need. So I know this kid, but I don't know his name. No clue. No clue. I know, I'm dumb. You can save your family, Linda, and... oh, that's not possible. You have to destroy the Speed Force. I'm into that. And then since this has been out for almost a week, who's been talking this whole time? Who's orchestrating this whole thing? Of course. My name is Hunter Zolomon. You can call me Zoom Zoom Zoom. And together we are going to save your children. This guy doesn't save kids. But damn, he looks good.